And we are live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you all for joining in. Yo, man, we got a YouTube channel. We doing big things, baby. Big things. Podcast coming soon. A lot coming soon before this year out. I just pray and hope that y'all ready. So, you don't know who I am. My name is Benjamin Thompson. I go by Future Preacher for short. Call me Future People, that you want to call me. But this series has been so phenomenal. Thank you all who have been sharing. Thank you all for who have been just putting it out there, man. This been crazy. Like this whole series has been phenomenal. It's been some challenges. That's how I know it's been good. It's been a lot, but regardless, there's some good stuff. Not no bad stuff. My iPhone just 100%, y'all, just stopped giving me the ability to stream. I can't even upload videos on it. I can't go live on it. So I gotta use my Android. I gotta use my Samsung right now to go live and all of that. So don't talk about my quality and don't talk about me like I'm not a child of God because I'm using my Android right now to go live. But it's all good though. So all in all, listen, welcome back. This is going to be part 8 to the series called Fruits of the Spirit. To the series called Fruits of the Spirit. Again, if you're watching this video, share this video. This video is definitely going to be phenomenal. Listen, I'll go ahead and pray. I'm going to jump right into it because I feel tonight is going to be really, really, really good. It's going to be really meaty. It's going to be a lot of good information, a lot of good content. So again, if you're watching this video, share this video. Stay till the end. Catch this teaching for the word because it's going to be phenomenal. So, Heavenly Father, thank you right now for this time. I appreciate you, God, more than ever, Lord. Use me a vessel like you do every single week, Lord. I am nothing without you. This is about you. This is not about me. I edify you. I do not edify myself, God. Through trials and tribulations and imperfections, I pray, Lord, that you give me and everyone that's under the sound of my voice the ability to feel you, reach you, touch you, God, and also, Lord, to live and walk in your presence on the daily. Lord knows we're not perfect. We make a lot of mistakes daily, Lord, based on decisions that we have made and challenges that we have faced, Lord. I pray that you forgive us for everything, Lord, everything that we have done, even the times when we felt, Lord, that you would not give us a second chance, and you gave us more than just a second chance, God. We're grateful. We're appreciative for it. We lift you up. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Listen, everybody, watching this video, share this video. It's going to be dope. What's up, Blue? What's up, my brother? See you on there. So I hope y'all understand what's been going on. So I've been talking about the fruits of the Spirit from Galatians 5:22. Galatians 5:22. Galatians 5:22 is pretty simple. It talks about the fruits of the Spirit. This is written by Apostle Paul, if I'm not mistaken. And he talked about, but the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness. So we're talking about gentleness, right? Today. But when we first started, y'all, this is part 8. This is crazy. I can't believe we're going this long. But we started off with love first. So love was phenomenal that kicked us off onto this series. It was literally the first video that I've done, and love really kicked us off. And then after love, we switched it up, and then we talked about joy. We broke down the definition of joy, how joy meant peace. No, I'm sorry, joy meant to rejoice. To rejoice means experience. So when you rejoice in God, you get an experience of God like none other. And then after you get that experience, guess what else you get? Guess what else you get? You get the definition. So the word re means again, kind of like how you have a replay or remission or something re. So it means to go again, right? What's up, coach? And then after that, after the word joyce, it's the word Lord, Lord. So Lord means, I'm sorry, rejoice means Lord, Lord. So when you say rejoice, or when you do rejoice, and when you do it again, exactly what I said, you do it again. You do it again, you do it again, you do it again. So the word rejoice means again, Lord. So every time you praise God and you do it in a certain posture, it means to do it again. So that was joy. Peace was super crazy because we broke down the word peace and how peace surpasses all of our understanding. That's the type of peace we wanted. Then we talked about long suffering, what it was to suffer in a long way. And then we broke down kindness, and then we talked about goodness. Faithfulness last week went up bonkers. It was one of the best teachers I think I've ever done. And now tonight we're going to talk about gentleness. Now, gentleness was a little bit different. It was a little bit different for me. The reason being is because gentleness and kindness to me kind of goes one and the same. Even when you look up the word, the definition of it, it goes one and the same, right? It's literally kind of like the same type of word, the same type of situation. And so when I looked it up, I had to ask myself, okay, God, I need you to give me the right wording and the right mindset to teach this information so good, because I want people to be able to take this information, and I want people to be able to apply it, because I don't want anyone to just see this information and then that be it, right? I don't want them to just hear a word and say, okay, that sounds good. No, I want to give you some tangible stuff, so that way when you're in the world, when you're out there on the regular, you can use this stuff and it can help you. You're not just sitting there docile. You're not just sitting there trying to figure out what to do next, and then that's it. Oh yeah, brought to you by God. So, excuse me. Now, the topic I want to come from today is pretty simple, right? It's literally, how do I have long-lasting fruit? How do I have long-lasting fruit? That was super huge and major to me when I did this, when I was talking about doing this teaching, because I'm like, yo, man, how do I have long-lasting fruit? This type of fruit, ladies and gentlemen, is super important, because I want the fruit to be long-lasting. I don't want it to be temporary. I don't want it to be a thing to where it comes and then it just goes, it just leaves. I want it to be a thing to where it's long-lasting. I want it to be a thing to where, look, if we have long suffering, let us have long fruit, right? I don't want it to be a thing to where it's just like a fly-by-night thing. I want it to come and I want it to be here to stay. I don't want it to be temporary. I want it to be a long-lasting thing. For some reason, my brightness just got really low on my phone, and I don't understand why it did that. But we're gonna keep the ball rolling. So this is the biggest thing when it comes to gentleness. So let's talk about the definition really quick, right? So the definition of gentleness, y'all, it blew my mind. So there are actually 4 different definitions to the word gentleness. But what I did was I broke down the word gentle. And this is the way I teach, because I wanted to make sense to everybody. So the word gentle, check this out. It means quality of being kind, which we talked about kindness, and also mild tempered. Water break. It's gonna be really good. I'm just letting y'all know, mild tempered. So do not forget that. Kind and then mild tempered. All right. So remember that, because remember, in kindness, we talked about what it was to be kin, right? And then we talked about the definition of kind, and then we talked about the word ness. Ness means to be at the top of the mountain. It meant promontory. Ness means promontory or mountain. And then I talked about how Jesus was up at the mountain of transfiguration, and then when he was there, when he transfigured, Moses and Abraham showed up in the midst of John, Peter, and James, which was the 3 that he took up into the mountain of transfiguration. Blew my mind when I saw that part. Why? Because he only trusted 3. Shout out to Jerry, Pastor Jay, this weekend, this past Sunday, where he talked about you can't take everybody with you. You know, that Jesus led 5,000, he led 72, and after the 72, he led this 12 disciples. After the 12 disciples, he only took 3 up to the mountain of transfiguration. So what that means, you can't take everybody with you, right? But here's the deal. Kind, mild tempered. The second definition I'm gonna break down is the word G-E-N inside of gentle. So gentle means the quality of kind, being kind, and mild tempered. Gen means information. Get this, information, or be born again / becoming. I was like, what? So it's crazy. So becoming, being born again, right? The third definition of gentle, get ready, derived from Latin, it means to cultivate. It means to cultivate. The word cultivate means to grow and maintain. We'll talk about that too as well. And then last but not least, the word gen in gentle, or excuse me, the word gen and gentle, which also the word, get this, Gentiles, as we know, was talked about in the Bible, that Jesus told the disciples when they go out, do not go to Gentiles, right? But that's a whole another story. You got to read deeper on the word Gentiles. But the word Gentile is derived from the word gentle. Gentile is literally translated into gentle in a different language. So just because you're feeling one way to one particular person does not mean that the other person is going to receive you the way that you feel. I'm gonna run that back. Just because you feel one way about a particular person or a particular situation does not mean that that individual is going to feel the exact same way that you feel about whatever it is that you believe, whatever it is that you're talking about, whatever it is that you're working toward, whether it be business, whether it be your job, no matter what it is, your vision, your future, no matter what it is, people will not look at you the same because why? Because of something as simple as cultivating, something as simple as being gentle, something as simple as meaning something different. So a lot of times, here's what I want you all to understand. Could it be the fact that you're speaking the wrong language, or it's just a language barrier between you and that individual? Listen, with entrepreneurship, it is very, very hard to speak the same language to a person that is scared of entrepreneurship. They do not want to do it because they want the safety and the security of a job on a regular. So it's harder for them to wrap in their brains about entrepreneurship. A lot of people want to make entrepreneurship a safety thing, and it's not safe. It's no guarantees in entrepreneurship. Yes, you make a lot of money. Yes, you have a lot of freedom from time, but it comes with a lot of sacrifices, which means is once I saw this post one time, one person said, how did this post go, y'all? It said, I want to be able, no, I'm sorry. It says, I can't I can't wait to get rid of this 9 to 5 and start my own business. And now I start my own business, I work 24 hours. So you may make more money, but in the beginning, a lot of us we glamorize entrepreneurship because of the results, but we don't glamorize the work that it takes. And that's the same thing when it comes to your relationship with God. It's the work that you got to focus on. It's not the end goal. But you see, what happens is this is why people don't like the word Christian or don't like the word believer or don't like the word Jesus because of one thing and one thing only. It seems like it's not fun over here. It seems like you can't make no money over here. It seems like it's not attractive to the eye. The problem is, it's not about the attraction. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that the results are looked at to be so easy to come. So that's the reason why people are skeptical. But here's the deal. You can tell people about the work, and that doesn't mean that they're going to do it because a lot of people don't want to work. They literally want the short way out every single time. They want the short way out. You got to think about it like this. Think like this. The average person works 8 hours a day. Let's keep it 1,000. No matter if you make $8 an hour to $45 to $60 an hour, all money, it's all relative. It really all is. It's all relative, right? You could be making $60,000 a year and live better than the person making $250,000 a year, 250,000. Why? Because your budget is better than theirs. But here's the deal: the person making 60 could be living with somebody that they splitting rent with, they splitting all the bills with. The person that's 250,000 literally have employees they got to pay, they got children, they're married, they got a bigger house, they got more liabilities or assets, whatever. So it costs their cost of living is higher than the person that's making 68,000 a year. If you're making 68,000 a year, but your monthly break even is only what, three grand a month, you saving two or 2,500 versus a person that's making $250,000. Their monthly is probably 10 grand or more. So it's not the same. So even though you're making less, you can still live a more better or comfortable lifestyle than the person that's not. So it's all relative at the end of the day. But here's the deal. A lot of people don't want to look at it this way, but you have to work. You got to look at the perspective on what it's like to actually become an entrepreneurship. It's the same thing when it comes to being a believer. You got to put in the work. You got to get your word and you got to read it. The biggest thing is if you want it bad enough, you're going to do your research and you're going to do whatever you got to do to learn it. It's the same way when you start a new job. When you start a new job, you're going to do everything that you can. You're going to bug people. You're going to watch people. You're going to research things on your own. You're going to look at emails. You're going to go through orientation and all of that. When you get saved, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. When you become an entrepreneur, it's the same thing. The only difference is, guess what? And I'm gonna go back to this. You're working 8 hours a day. You're really not getting paid to work 8 hours all day. Because some of you at your job, you don't work 8 hours all day. Y'all chill at least 5 out of the 8. And then out of those 3, you take a 30-minute to an hour lunch break. So you really only do 2 hours of work. Depending on what field you're in, y'all not busy. Y'all not busy. Especially if you're in retail. Y'all not really busy this time of the year. Unless you're in sales, direct sales. That's a little bit different. But in most jobs, you're not busy. You're chilling. And y'all still getting paid. Because I see a lot of y'all post. See, that's why my views went down. I'm speaking that real. I don't care. That's why a lot of you post throughout the day. Because you ain't got nothing to do. You're chilling, but you're still getting paid. So what happens is when you jump into the entrepreneur world and you realize that if I don't maximize on every single minute, every single second, and every single hour, what's going to happen is what? I ain't going to get paid. I ain't going to get no money. So a lot of us want to be compensated for something that we're not doing. Same aspect when it comes to this word. A lot of us want to be compensated for things. We want God to bless us. We want God to shift us in different routes and different ways. And guess what happens when God don't shift us in different routes and different ways? We get frustrated and we say it don't work. Water break. Enemy trying this, they're trying to kill my voice. I ain't stopping. So that's what it's really about, right? So again, to cultivate, grow, maintain. Next, reproduce. It means to reproduce. It means beget. B-E-G-E-T. Beget or beget. In other words, the reproduction between a man and a woman, the two became one. Ain't that crazy? The word gentle means to do that. The word gentle means to do that. The reproduction between a man and a woman, which means procreate, make a child. There you go, between a man and a woman. That's what the word gentle means. You can look it up. You can look it up. I got the same definition from Google. You can type it in and look at the words and look at the origin and look up those words too. I can direct you on how to do it. So number one, the first point on how to have long-lasting fruit. First point, number one, understand that we are the fruit of God and that our thoughts are the seeds and our actions is the work of the seed. I'm gonna run it back. Understand, point number one, on how to have long-lasting fruit. Understand that we are the fruit of God. Our thoughts are the seeds, and our actions is the work of the seed. Like, I want you all to understand this process. Okay, understand this process. Point number A under number one. Point A. Okay, follow the process and the order of the process: seed, action, and then the fruit. A lot of us right now, we want the fruit, but our seeds and our actions are not matching up. They're going against each other. If I'm gonna play devil's advocate, if I'm gonna be the enemy, I don't want your fruit to grow, because what happens is fruit is nutritious. Fruit helps the body. Ooh, fruit helps the mind. Fruit helps you health-wise. Fruit helps you mentally. Fruit gives you energy. Fruit helps other people. Fruit is a part of food. Fruit keeps you from eating candy. Fruit does a lot for the body. A lot of you right now are vegetarians. When you fast, you eat vegetables and fruit. You eat vegetables and fruit. Come on, now follow me on this. Come on, share this video. Watching this video, share this video. Share it, share it, share it. Get out there. You don't want no one to miss this teaching. You do not want to miss this, right? Understand again that we are the fruit of God. And that's the biggest thing. When you understand the value that you have, you are the fruit of God. The enemy really can't do nothing to you once you understand that. If you understand that you are the fruit of God, a lot of things that we face, we have to really understand that it's really us. It's not the enemy. We're facing trials and situations that we're putting on ourselves, and that's the enemy. It's not us. Or should I say it's us and not the enemy? That's really what it is. We are legit not understanding the value that we are. Don't you know that you are the value, and it's not based on your situation, it's based on your mindset and what you are? God created all of us equally. But the problem is because we have free will, we want to change the way that things go so bad in our lives. When God can give us that ability, but it has to be for the fulfillment of the kingdom. It cannot be for the fulfillment of you. And that's the problem. We want control so much. We want to control narratives and situations because we see other people living better than us. We see other people driving better cars than us. We see other people eating at better restaurants than us. We see people wearing better clothes. We see people smell better than us. We experience and see all of these things, and we feel for one moment and for 1 second that the only thing that's going to change is if we switch the narrative about us, feeling like we got to change. No, the type of fruit that you are will only appeal to you. Listen, I love bananas. I love strawberries. I love oranges. I love grapes. For real. I love fruit. I love mangoes. I eat plums, pears, peaches, all of that. But you know what I don't eat? I don't eat dragon fruit. I don't. I eat pineapples. I eat watermelon every now and then. But certain fruits I don't eat. I don't eat. I don't eat papaya. I don't eat kiwi as much. I don't. But just because I don't eat that fruit doesn't mean that fruit is not being ate by someone else. I hope you caught that. Why? Because you have to understand that you are the fruit of God. In other words, if you black, if you African, if you are Nigerian, if you are Egyptian, if you are Brazilian, you're Mexican, you're Latino, you're Puerto Rican, you're Dominican. I can go on and on and on. You're white, you're Asian, you're Indian, you're indigenous. I can go on and on and on and on. Whatever your origin is, your culture is, your race, whatever, God created you as fruit. My job tonight is to get you to understand the gentleness that you have within you and how it can literally change your whole life. Because you have a piece of you. If you understand that you are the fruit, you were created to blossom and grow on this earth. Let me show you how I know. Everybody starts off as a seed. Ooh. Everyone starts off as a seed. The ground, the fertileness is grown, the seed is grown in the belly of the woman. Once this baby is pushed out of that womb, which means that's the action, that's it. It's done. Come out. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the action later on how you need to cultivate the seed more, which we're going to break down a little bit more. But I want y'all to get this and understand this. We are all the fruit of God. But once we get out, once the fruit is now out, we have to understand another thing. We are literally, our thoughts are our seeds. Our thoughts or our seeds. The seeds of the fruit is very important. Some of you right now, you want to be fruit, but you don't want to have the seeds in you. You don't want to have the seeds inside of you because you feel like for one moment it's too hard. Or I don't want nobody to look at me a certain type of way because of the type of seed that I come from. So I don't want those seeds on me either. Well, it's because you don't understand the process of being gentle. You don't understand the process. Number one, I'm sorry, point A, again, I told y'all this is going to be good. We're going to break this thing all the way down. Follow the process and the order of the process. The first thing is seed. Then after you get the seed, you have to put in the action. When you get a seed, the first thing you need to do is you need to take that seed, put it in the ground, and you water it. The seeds is your thoughts. This was a seed. This bottle was a seed before it became fruit. It became fruit because y'all ready? It became fruit because it's used. Water break. Anything that you have, this is fruit. This remote is fruit. This mouse is fruit. This pen is fruit. These ear pods, fruit. This lint roller, fruit. Come on, we can keep going. This watch, this bracelet, this chain, this hat, this beard, it's fruit. These earrings, fruit. Now here's the deal. A lot of us don't say earrings, watches, chains, phones, and all that. It ain't fruit. How would you know? Because if it wasn't fruit, then it wouldn't be created. Fruit is created. And here's the deal about fruit when it's created. I can buy an orange today and keep that same orange until July 2023. What's going to happen to the orange? It's going to go bad, right? What's going to happen with this device in the next year? It'll still keep working. In other words, certain things are designed to last longer and certain things aren't designed to last that long. So here's what I want you to understand. Maybe the reason why that relationship didn't last that long is because it was a fruit that wasn't designed to withstand the times. Maybe the reason why that vehicle didn't last you as long as it was supposed to last you, it was because that vehicle wasn't designed to handle the terrain and the weather conditions that you were driving. Maybe that job didn't last that long because there was a part of you that literally was supposed to grow and you couldn't grow because the conditions wouldn't allow you to grow. Maybe that business didn't work out for you. No matter how many businesses you start and didn't get the amount of success that you felt like you should have, is because in that season, it wasn't designed to grow past what you was doing. It wasn't really you. It was the people around you that you did not have the support from that kept you from growing. But that doesn't mean that you stop. That means that you just got to find another avenue, another way. Because once you get it, that's fine. And here's one thing I want to go ahead and break the myth on. A lot of people want to do a whole bunch of things to make a lot of money fast. You're not being an entrepreneur doing that way. Go, Lord help me, because I don't know why I'm going this way. But you're not being an entrepreneur. You're still being an employee. What you're trying to do is you're trying to treat businesses like jobs. You're trying to start a whole bunch of things to get money quick, and that's it. No. What you're not realizing is that when you look at guys who are big, huge, multi-millionaires, they started off with one thing and one thing only. Jeff Bezos started off with Amazon. Yeah, you see him do different stuff now after he built up Amazon first. Once he built up Amazon first, then he turned around and then he started diversifying his income. That's the game. Stop looking at all these people on social media that say, I got this going on, that going on, I got this business, that business, that business, that business. Yeah, but you're self-employed. You're not really a business owner. You're not really an investor. You're just doing different things, trying to literally get this, trying to show that you're trying to just keep yourself busy so that you don't have to clock in no more, but you're still clocking in technically because you don't have any freedom of your time yet. Just because you're not clocking in doesn't mean you have freedom of your time, because you're only supposed to have freedom of time to make more money. That's the whole purpose of freedom of time, is so you have more time to make more money. That's the whole purpose of that. It wasn't designed for you to just sit down just so that you just say, I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. That doesn't mean anything. What it means is that you have the opportunity to create more wealth because you have more time on your hands throughout the day. That's what it's really designed for. So I hope y'all caught that. I hope that makes sense to you all. But come on, let's talk about letter B, right? Because now we go from seed. We talked about the action, which means that your words is first. Now you need to water your words. In other words, you need to put your words out there consistently in prayer and fasting to God, because that's your actions now. God wants to see actions. When you talk about love, when you say love is patient, patience is an action verb. You got to show patience. Love is kind. Kindness is an action verb, right? Come on, hold on one second. Let me read it to you real quick. Let me read it to you really, really quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And I'm just using this as an example. I'm just using this as an example, right? It says, where's that? Love is okay, there it is. So love is patient, right? Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. I'm sorry, I'm reading a different version right now. Let me there it is. Love is patient, love is kind. Kindness is literally an action verb. It does not envy. That's action. Does not envy mean that I can't look at you and start hating. That's action. When you start hating on somebody, that's action. That's action. A lot of people say, yeah, you can hate me all you want. You could be on the other side of town and hate on me. But when you envy me, that's an internal issue. Some people say, I can deal with envy. But when your envy turned into hate, I can't do it. I got to completely disconnect myself. completely disconnect myself. Because some people take envy as a way to motivate you. You can envy me, just do better. I don't care if you envy me. If you envy me, that's cool. But it does not boast. That's an action. Because when you boast, that's an action. It is not proud. Pride comes before destruction. It comes before destruction. So get this. Your actions have to align with your seed. Some of you want big seeds like big houses and big cars and big names and wealth, etc. But your actions is not aligned into it. Your actions is your faith. Your faith is your actions. Your actions is your faith. Your faith is your action. And then after all of that, then the fruit comes. But some of us, we want the fruit first, and then we want to speak it, and then we want to throw faith on it. Or some of us, we want to do the faith part first, but we don't want to put no seed, no words in. No words. No words whatsoever. It's the process. Seed first, action, and then fruit will be produced. Seed first, action, then fruit will be produced. All right, number two. I'm sorry, letter B of number one. Understand. Whew, all right, understand, because we're still talking about, right? We're still talking about how do I have long-lasting fruit? How to have long-lasting fruit. The next point is you got to understand the quality of your fruit and not the quantity. You have to understand the quality of the fruit and not the quantity. Some of you right now, you're so heavily focused on how much when you should just be focusing on who you are and what you got to do right now. A lot of us want the provision so bad to where we completely miss the vision. Don't worry about the provision. If you focus on the vision and focus on the action and focus on the seeds, the provision is going to come for the fruit to be reproduced. That's it. That's what I've learned. I'm like, oh wow, like this is crazy. You got to understand the quality of your fruit. You got to understand the quality of your fruit. Because remember, the definition is the quality of being kind. Not just being kind. Like your kindness have to have quality to it. Your kindness need to be on the top shelf, not at the bottom. Your kindness needs to be worth more. You cannot have a Prius kindness, but you want a Lamborghini blessing. It doesn't work that way. You got to have a Lamborghini kindness in order to have a Lamborghini blessing. You got to have a Bentley kindness to a Bentley blessing. You got to have a Benz kindness to a Benz blessing. It doesn't work like that. You can't give God 2%, but you want God to give you 98. You got to give God the same 98. You got to give him 100, 150. You got to give him your all. That's what it is to give quality. You got to give that quality. If you understand the quality of your fruit and not the quantity that you have to provide, you will walk in faith and not by sight. When you understand the quality of your fruit, you will walk in faith and not by sight. Listen, guys, I hope you get this. That's the key right there. If you understand, get this, if you understand the quality of your fruit, if you understand the quality of your fruit, you will literally walk by faith and not by sight. That's what you guys have to understand, right? Because in the midst of it all, what's happening right now is that a lot of us, we want more, but we don't want to literally take our time to understand the quality that we have. The quality that we have is very, very, very detrimental to where God is going to take us and trying to take us. The quality is super important. A lot of you right now, think about this. When you buy certain clothes, the clothes that you buy, it is not determined upon how much it really costs. Because you can buy something that don't cost that much, but the quality could be A1. But you could buy something that costs a good bit of money and the quality don't be that good. You ever spent a lot of money on a plate for dinner, but the quality was kind of trash of the food? You're like, I could have seasoned this chicken better than this. Whatever. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Y'all, Facebook got me shadow banned, but it's all good though. I ain't tripping. We still gonna put this word out, right? Right? Because I'm on my phone and it's showing I ain't got no viewers, but I can see it's so crazy. But listen, check this out though. I want y'all to get this. Get this. The quality is super important. You cannot want more quantity when you're missing out the quality of it. Some of you right now, the reason why you don't have certain relationships in your life is because you focus so heavy on having a lot of people around you. No, don't focus on that. When Jesus asked his disciples in Matthew 16 or 17, I think it's Matthew 16, Jesus asked his disciples, no, Matthew 15 and 16, I apologize. He asked his disciples, he said, whom do you say I am? Peter was the only one that said, thou is the Son of the living God, thou art the Christ. Jesus said, Simon Bar-Jonah, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you. Only my Father in heaven did. It's 12 of them. Only one person said who Jesus was, and the other 11 said nothing. What Jesus did when he took the three disciples or three people up with him up to the Mount of Transfiguration, that was quality. He focused on the quality of their gentleness concerning him. It wasn't the quantity. See, the quantity looks like, man, I've been down with you since day one. I've been here. You remember me? Come on, cuz. You remember me, cuz? Excuse me. I've been here since day one. I seen it, but were you quality or were you quantity? Quality, it won't cost you nothing. Quantity is going to cost you everything. Because when you buy a lot, when you have a lot of quantity, you got and you don't get rid of it, guess what you have? Dead stock. You got stuff that's lingering around. And that's what happens with some of us right now. We acquired so many people in our lives, so much stuff around us, and we can't even get rid of it. Sometimes it's not even what you're feeling, it's the people around you that you're feeling. That's what it is. You got to be okay with having the gift of goodbye. You got to be okay with God removing certain people from your life, from your lives. You got to be okay with God removing certain situations from around you from your lives. You got to be okay with that, because what happens is when you're okay with that, is when you're okay with it, the level of gentleness that you will have after that, it's like it's like fly by night. It's not even the same. It's mind blowing on how I see people who literally are focusing so heavy on quality. I'm sorry, on quantity rather than quality. And they wonder why they don't have a repeat of a certain type of individual in their lives. And I'm guilty of it. Can you be honest? Can you be honest and say that the reason why you're in a situation that you're in is because you've had too much quantity around you? You thought that having more made it seem like you would get more, but the whole time you really needed less to get more? Or can you be honest and admit that? Can you be honest and admit that the situation that you're in is your fault because you had the wrong quantity around you instead of having the right quality? God wanted to give you two, but you instead felt like you needed 8. And come to find out, because you got those whole 8, you completely X'd out the 2 that God was going to originally give to you. A lot of you right now, and all of us, can't find the right relationship is because we're focusing on quantity so much. That's the whole thing about dating. I'm not really too fond of on right now is dating multiple people, because, and this is just what I believe, and I stand on that. You can't really figure out whom you are, and they can't figure out whom you are. In other words, you're playing the game of, I don't want to be committed right now. I just want to sit there and go in circles and then play process of elimination based on how you make me feel. But what happens when those feelings leave? What happens when those feelings deteriorate? What happens when you ran around in circles so much and you call it having fun, to where you completely missed out on the fact that you went from quality, now you turn it into the same quantity that you entertain. That's what happens. That's the reason why. One thing at a time, guys. One thing at a time. If you're under the sound of my voice, please understand the quality of your fruit. You're trying to give it to everybody. No, give it to God first before it go to anybody else, not the quantity. The third point. Let's see. I told you we're gonna go deep with this tonight. Your quality should never change, no matter what season you're in. Oh, your quality should never change, no matter what season you're in. Because remember, The definition of kindness, of gentleness, excuse me, gentleness. It means the quality of being kind and mild tempered, or should I say temperature? Ooh, mild tempered. The word tempered is derived from the word temperature. Tempered temperature. You know, in Texas, man, it's 108 degrees outside. I'll be real with y'all. Y'all want to save some power? Wash your clothes and hang them outside. Let them air dry. They're gonna dry in like 15 minutes. Save a lot on your power bill. Because that heat out here, I'm telling you, it's different. It's different. Get your windows tinted. You will need it. I promise you. Get your windows tinted if you live out here in Texas. It's different. Lord, we repent. If hell is anything close to this, I don't want it. Water break. I don't want it. Can't have it. So get this. Point number C under number 1. Your quality should never change no matter what season you're in. When you're mild tempered or temperature, here's the definition of mild tempered. You're willing to endure. Ooh, you're willing to endure. Hold on now. Hold on 1 second. Can I look up James chapter 1 really quick for you all? Can I look up the book of James chapter 1 in the New Testament, ladies and gentlemen? James chapter 1 verse 2 says this. Come on now. Come on now. All the way. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, come on. We're gonna go ahead and unpack this. Let's talk about it real quick. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 5. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters. Consider it pure joy. Whatever that it is, consider it already. The last time I heard the word consider is when God told Satan, have you considered my servant Job? Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials and tribulations of many kind. Many kind. Because you know, not them. That's the thing. You got to know. You have to know. When you face trials and tribulations of many kind, not them. See, when you understand the quality, you understand that the trials and tribulations are designed specifically for you. When you face trials of many kind, not tribulations, trials of many kind, which means it's going to come in different forms, different shapes. It's going to come at your health. It's going to come at your finances. It's going to come at your mind. It's going to come at your mental health. It's going to come at your heart. It's going to come at your body. It's going to come at your family, your friends, your wife, your husband, your relationships, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your babe, your boo, whatever. It's going to come when you face trials of many kind, because you know this, not them. And you got to get good to knowing the quality that you are, because if not, you're going to look at somebody else to give you quality. And I guarantee you, the average person will never, I ain't gonna say the average person, nobody, is going to give you quality like how God's going to give you quality. Nobody. Nobody's going to give you quality like how God's going to give you quality, because you know, verse 3, the testing of your faith produces perseverance, endurance. Let the perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete and not lack anything. And not lack anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Listen, I'm going to run that back. If you lack wisdom in anything, if you lack the knowledge and wisdom in anything, look what it says right here. You should ask God. Stop asking people. That's the reason why you can't get far. That's the reason why you're dealing in quantity situations versus quality, because when it comes to wisdom, you're going to people first instead of going to God. And then when that happens, God gives it to you generously without finding fault in you. People will literally give you stuff only for one or two reasons. Number one, because they know if they give it to you, they can always throw it back in your face. They can always say, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be where you are today. Those individuals you want to kind of push back from a whole lot, not a little bit, a whole lot, because they aren't giving it to you without finding fault. They're going to give it to you but they want to give only a piece because they don't want you to do good like them. They feel like if I give you everything, you're gonna do better than me. That's such a slave, selfish mentality. Because guess what? If I do good like you, that doesn't affect your household. That doesn't make your bills or your budget go up or down. It doesn't. It doesn't make it that way. But that's that selfish, prideful attitude that we have as a culture so much. We don't want to help out nobody. We don't. We don't even want to trust everybody. We trust everybody else, but we don't trust our own. We don't. Because we have this mindset of I can only give to you generously unless I need to figure out what's in it for me. If God treated you that way. We serve the same God. That's what I thought. I thought we had the same Savior. What if God treated you the way that you treat us? The way that you treat people? You don't give generously without finding fault. You find a reason to see if a person has an issue before you give it to them. I ain't gonna give it to them. All they're gonna do is smoke it up and put on drugs. That's not your decision. If God say give, you give. You don't determine what that person do, because once you give, it's not yours anymore. You completely giving up 100% control of whatever you gave. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be a conversation. It could be a prayer. It could be a text message. It could be your talents. It could be your gifts. You can give some kind of way. Some kind of way. But a lot of us don't want to do that because we don't want to give generously without finding fault. I'm telling you right now, if somebody give you something and find fault, take my advice, give it back to them ASAP. Don't take it. You're signing a contract that you will not be able to get out of, because those individuals will literally hold that over your head as long as they could, because in their minds, that's their way to control you, manipulate you, show a narcissistic way on how to do different things. It's not your job to control somebody once you give them something. I don't care if you gave that person your last. It's not yours anyway, because when you die, you can't take it with you. Can't. It's over. It's done. Ooh, I love that. Giving under T's and C's, terms and conditions. Matter of fact, I'm going to go even deeper with that since she said terms and conditions. They don't even want you to read. They just want you to sign. And then when you find an issue with the contract, they want to say that you're trying to breach it. So they want to turn around and say things like, well, you can't leave. Did you not read your contract? Didn't you read what it said? Because they want to find fault. But when you ask God, God give it to you generously if you lack any wisdom when it comes to this. Because I guarantee you, here's the deal. In order for you to consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kind, you're going to have to have some wisdom to do that, because everything around you is going to force you to want to quit. Everything. When you face trials and tribulations, you're going to want to quit. The difference between me and a lot of people that teach, they ain't going to tell you the real. I'm going to be real with you right now. You're going to want to quit. You may get depressed. You may suppress some issues. You may feel oppressed. You're going to push hard for something that you believed in. People was right or wrong with you, had camaraderie, and a lot of them folks going to turn their back on you. Because you was doing it so well and you was wanted to do it for people. You wanted it more for people than they wanted it for themselves. And here's what happens. You didn't realize that you were attached to a lot of quantity instead of quality. Jesus only had 12 disciples, but he fed 5,000. Why didn't he have 5,000 disciples? See, that's the question I asked. How come none of the disciples were women? How come there weren't any gospels written after women? That's what I want to know. I ask these type of questions, right? But regardless of what it was, it's quality over quantity. He only had 12, and one of the 12 betrayed him. So I want y'all to understand this. You always have a Judas in your pickings. Always. Here's the deal, though. Some of you right now, you have a quantity mentality by trying to figure out who Judas is. Regardless of it, when I study Jesus, I don't study him as the Messiah because I know who he is. I did when I first started. I study him as a leader. I look at how he moved and think. When you look at Jesus as a leader and you read the Gospels, the Gospels would never be the same to you ever again. Because now you're looking at how he moved and how he talked and the things that he said. It is hilarious to me when you read the book of Matthew and you see how Jesus talked to the Pharisees and the Sadducees and how he gave them the parables. I laugh now because I'm like, yo, Jesus was cold with it. He was cold with it, man. I don't understand how he And the disciples was like, why are you hitting them with parables? Why can't you just give them an answer? He was like, because I don't have to. he was so gangster with it. I don't have to give you an answer. I don't. They sidebar. Book of Matthew, I think it's chapter 12. But they said to Jesus, the only reason why he's able to cast out these demons, he's doing it because he is led by Beelzebub, which is the prince of demons. He said, well, if I'm led by the Beelzebub, the prince of demons, he said, can Satan drive out Satan? If Satan drives out Satan, then that means that he goes against his own kingdom, which he won't do that. So let me ask you a question. If I'm using, no, I'm sorry, he said, what did John the Baptist do to drive out demons? What spirit was John the Baptist going after or running after? Matter of fact, let me ask you this. What spirit are y'all being led by to drive out demons? Oops, I'm sorry, y'all don't do that. It's like, what? Oops, I'm sorry. Y'all don't drive out demons. Because if y'all did drive out demons, I wouldn't have to do it. I was like, boy, he cold with it. He cold with it. He cold with it. He asked him, so in what spirit do y'all drive demons out of? Oh, that's right, y'all don't. y'all don't do it. Y'all don't drive out demons, because if y'all did, I wouldn't have to be here to do it. I wouldn't have to heal. If y'all was healing, what spirit are y'all healing people out of? Oh, that's right, y'all don't heal. These people have been lame and crippled for 20 plus years. These people have been literally blind and mute at the same time. Oh, that's right, y'all don't do that. That's right. What if I told you the same people in your lives are mad at you because you're moving like Christ and they're moving like Pharisees? Water break. That was my ice machine. Oh, your neck. Oh, your edges. Some of you right now are trying to reason with Pharisees, and you can't do it. You can't reason with a Pharisee. Can't. You cannot reason with a Pharisee. That's the problem. See, if you can understand the quality of fruit that you are, if you understand you are the fruit of God, you will only answer to a Pharisee with a parable. You will never talk to a Pharisee based on the truth of what you're trying to do. In other words, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You don't have to prove nothing to anyone. The only reason why I think and I believe Jesus spoke in parables is to, number one, to teach them that the whole time they thought they was right, but they was really wrong. And number two, so that his disciples can see, because remember, I'm studying him as a leader, so his disciples can see you don't have to argue with people. You don't have to prove people wrong. If God told you that's who you are, that's who you are. If God told you that you're a millionaire, that's who you are. It don't matter what people think. If God told you, sis, that's your husband, that's your husband. You better not let your family trick you out your blessing. You better not let them do it. Don't let your friends talk you out of that. Bro, if God tells you that's your wife, that's your wife. Period. Hosea married a prostitute. Don't let people do it. And Hosea was a prophet. Don't let people run you off of your, I'm telling you, don't do it. Stand on that. Stand on God's word alone. Because guess what? Here's what happens. Here's what happens. When you die, the Bible's still going to be here. It's still going to be here. It's the number one most stolen book in the world. It's the number one hidden book in the world. See, we free now. You think I can wear this God is dope hat in Vietnam? No, I can't do that. I can, but I'm risking my life. You think you can say Jesus in a different country? You can't even say it in parts of Jerusalem and Israel. You can't. You get killed. You can't say it in parts of China. You will get killed. There are people literally meeting underground. You can look this stuff up on YouTube. You can look this stuff up on Facebook if you want to. It's there it's right at our fingertips now. You can look this up, how people are literally going underground, crying out to God, crying, hugging Bibles, excited. Not us. We stealing them. It's a crime for us to pick up the word and read it. Some of us right now, we're creating our own religions and own philosophies just because we only focusing on what we're seeing on social media. Sad, but it's real. But it's real. The reason why is because you don't understand the quality of your fruit, and you're focusing on the quantity. Remember, excuse me, your quality should never change no matter what season you are in. The definition of Gen, remember, it means when you're a mild tempered as well as gentle. It means when you're a mild tempered, and mild tempered means that you are willing to endure. Willing to endure. Not you doing it because you violate, not be doing it because you don't feel like it. You're willing and able and capable to take on whatever it is that needs to be taken on in order for you to get to the place in life where you need to go. You're willing and able to do it. That's what it means to be mild-tempered. That's what it means to be gentle. That's what it means. Proverbs 15:1 says this, y'all. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Oh my God. You ever had somebody mad at you and you just kill them with kindness? That's what you got to do. You kill them with kindness. Oh, it turns away wrath, anger. But harsh words steers up anger. It steers up anger. Here's the question I want to ask you all. Can your gentleness withstand harsh conditions, or is your gentleness conditioned to conform with the conditions and the situations? I'm gonna run it back. Can your gentleness withstand the harsh conditions? Can your gentleness or mild temperedness or mild temperature, right, willing to endure, can it withstand harsh conditions? Can it withstand when it's cold and everybody giving you the cold shoulder and nobody supports you? It's all good when the summertime out because everybody out. We outside. It's summertime. It's all good when the spring is out, even though pollen kicking your butt. But what happens when it's raining? It's tornado season and hurricane season hit. What happens? What happens when it's so hot the heat's unbearable? Strokes, passing out, dehydration, skin always dry. You have no AC in your vehicle and it's over 100 degrees and you got kids. You got to go to work. You got to fight traffic. People are angry because of the heat. They're not even angry at you. Your car stops on the side of the road because of the temperature. Can your gentleness withstand harsh conditions? Or is your gentleness conditioned? Is your gentleness conditioned to conform with the conditions or the situations? Can it withstand the seasons of life? Can it withstand the winter? Can it withstand the summer? Can it withstand the fall? Can it withstand the spring? Can it withstand it? Your gentleness, the quality of your fruit, can it withstand all 4 seasons? All 4 seasons. Does it change based on whom is around? Do you endure based on who supports you? Do you endure based on what people say about you? Do you endure based on what people have saw you as in the past? Do you endure based on the image that you want to create for yourself? Do you endure based on what your family might think? Do you endure based on what people around you may say or may not say? Do you endure based on what your bank accounts say? Do you endure because you get fired? Do you endure because your business is doing well right now? Can you endure when it don't? Because listen, every business go through a drought. I'm not speaking this because I want it. I'm speaking it because it's facts. Read the book of Daniel and see how Daniel prophesied to King Nebuchadnezzar. Look at what he said. Go back and read the book of Daniel when you get time. Go back and read the story of Joseph and see how Joseph prophesied to Pharaoh about there's going to be 7 years of goodness. There's going to be 7 years when it ain't good. When it's good, you need to be stocking up. Because when that 7-year drought hit, we got to be prepared. It's going to happen. That's when the summertime hit. And it's hot. Everything popping. Sun's out, guns out. They got hoochie daddy shorts on now. They out there. They doing their thing. Guys getting eye tattoos now. I don't know why. It's a thing. It's getting different every year. I see something new. Then when the winter time comes, the shorts got to go up. You got to throw jeans on. You got to throw boots on. You got to do all this other stuff. And the whole time, those shorts will never last in a different season. Are you prepared to change the clothing of your heart when the season changes? Are you prepared to do that? Point number 2. The question is, again, how do I have long-lasting fruit? Point number 2 is when you become what you're born to become. Is when you come what you are born to become. Remember the definition, right? The definition of gen, G-E-N, right? It means to be born again or become. That's what it means. It means to be born again or become. Or the first word is it means information. It means information. Gen, G-E-N, and the word gentle means information. Information, knowledge, or wisdom. Here's what I want you all to understand, okay? The word information is broke down. I learned this today. Shout out to David Emanite, one of the phenomenal mentors I follow for quite some time now. He broke down this word information. He said, information. Excuse me. Information. When something hits you, when gentleness comes to you, it goes in you first. When God gives you a word and a prophecy, it goes in you first. That's the first thing. So in other words, the reason why a lot of you don't have the wisdom, and I'm going to break down knowledge in a second. The reason why a lot of you don't understand gentleness like how you need to understand it is because whatever God's trying to give you, it can't go in you because you're too blocked off. You got a wall up. You blocking. You blocking your own blessing. You hiding. It says, when a man finds a good wife, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and he obtains favor. Sis, he can't find you if you hide. He can't find you if you hide. This is how some of your eyelashes are. They this low. Your eyelashes just like this. You can't even blink. You got to lift your eyelashes up. Come on now. He can't find you. That was a joke, by the way. I'm just kidding. Your eyelashes look good, I promise you. But he can't find you. He cannot find you. He can't find you because you hide. You're hiding really well. You're incognito. You're incognito. He cannot find you. Right? So you got to be found. The information have to go in. But what happens is the information that God wants to give you, it's not for you. It's for his kingdom. It's for his purpose. What if I told you that majority of all the prayers and affirmations and goals that you wrote down, there's somebody else in the world that thinks just like you? Yeah, I'm talking to you on YouTube and Facebook. Somebody in the world wrote that same goal down. You're not the only person that won the G-Wagon, sis. You're not the only person that want to get your credit right, sis. You're not the only person. You're not the only man that want to grow a beard. You're not the only man. I'm just joking with the beard part, but you're not the only man that wants to be financially stable and independent. You're not the only man that that strives to be a great father. You're not the only man that want to do that. You're not. You're not the only man that wants to do these things. You're not the only man that want to provide and give and be loved and be emotionally stable for his wife or for his family. You're not the only man that wants that. But when the information can't not go in you, it's going to bounce and go to somebody else. And what happens is this. This is why you see somebody else in your car, living in your house, or with that woman that you feel like you should have. Not the woman exactly, but the woman resembles the woman that's in your brain. Dang, she's supposed to be with me. The reason being is because the information it can't get in you because you closed off. So what happens is it has to bounce off of you to go somewhere else. Because regardless, the kingdom of God will has to be fulfilled. That's why Jesus said on the cross, Lord, not my will, let your will be done. That's the reason why he said that. Because the will of God has to be fulfilled regardless of what you feel, regardless of whatever happens. You have to become what you are born to become. You have to. Gen means information. Now, next, when it goes in you, it has to form. It has to form, right? Do not conform to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? Form. Let it, the word has to form on the inside of you. It cannot break. It has to form on the inside of you. So that's the thing. When God gives you a word, it has to form on the inside of you. The reason why it can't form on the inside of you, oh, you already here it comes. Because a lot of you have a weak immune system. Your system, your body system is not immune to the word of God. It's immune to the words that come from people. Is immune to drama, is immune to social media mess, is immune to issues, is immune to generational curses, is immune to all of the things that's keeping you from growing to become the greater you, or should I say, become what you are born to become. Your system is not immune. That's what fruit does. Fruit produces immunity in your body, but you can't become immune to anything because you don't have the right fruit. You don't have the right fruit. So it has to form on the inside. You can't form because your immune system is weak. You have to increase your immune system by getting the word inside of you. When you understand that you are the fruit, then what happens is that now when you understand the fruit, you need to go ahead and put some action behind your fruit. You need to keep watering that fruit. Because if you don't do anything with the fruit, like eat the fruit, it's going to go bad. It's going to spoil. And then now the fruit is wasted. Or my personal favorite, it looks good on the outside, and when you open it, it's rotten in the inside. Because why? Because you literally took the fruit off too fast. You were focusing on quantity instead of having quality. Now, action. That means action. Information, action. Information. Right? So now the action has to be done. As we talked about this earlier, there has to be action done behind once the information is there. So in other words, once it go in you and it forms in you and in your mind and you're transformed by the renewing of your mind, now it's time to put action behind it. Now it's time to use that wisdom and knowledge that you receive. Because guess what? When you look at the word knowledge, right? Knowledge, Knoww, it means to know. And then when you know something, your life is going to be on the ledge. If you don't have the knowledge, your life is going to be on the ledge. Knowledge, Ledge. Your life is going to be on the ledge. A lot of you right now, you're walking on a ledge right now because you don't know what you're doing. You're walking on a ledge right now because you know everybody else's business, but you don't know your own business. You know everybody else's plans, but you don't know your own plans. You know everybody else's business, everybody else's life, but you don't know your own life. You know more about celebrities and what they got going on than a celebrity even know you even exist. When you don't know the word of God, you're on the ledge all the time. You're on the ledge. You're about to fall off. You're about to fall off because you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You don't know. You have to increase your knowledge and your wisdom so you can know what to do. God gives you wisdom, but if you don't have the knowledge on how to use the wisdom, you're going to be on the ledge all day. And the enemy is going to be pushing you so you can fall. So you can fall. There's everything trying to push you. You got depression. You got suicide. You got ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, ex-husbands. They're just trying to push you off the ledge. You got people stalking you. You got people sending you crazy stuff in your DMs and all this other stuff. You got all of these things, people posting negativity on social media. You don't even want to see it on your feed. It makes you want to unfriend them or unfollow them. But it's there, it's on the ledge, it's pushing you. It's pushing you, trying to get you off of that ledge. You're on a balance without no beam. You just listen, you're about to fall off. You're about to fall off because you have the wisdom but you don't know what to do with it once you get it. Here's what you gotta do. It has to go in you, it has to form in you first. The only way they can form on the inside of you is because you understand that your mind has been transformed. Do not conform to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Point number B. Point number B. How to have long-lasting fruit. The next point. Because you're born to do it again. Fruit falls off the tree and regrow every single year. Guys, listen. That's the definition of the word gen. Gen means Gen means to be born again. Blew my mind when I read this. I was like, what? To be born again? So guess what? That's the reason why a rose can die in the winter, but it can regrow again in the spring. A rose can die in the fall, but it could be born again in the spring. I didn't know that. That being gentle means that you're born, it means to be born again. That's a part of the fruit of the spirit. That means, guess what? If you fall off in this season, God's going to go ahead and he's going to go ahead and make you whole again. You fell off right now when we're in July. You're trying to grow something in July that's not meant to grow until December. That's the issue. You're right now trying to produce in a month that God is not trying to produce in you yet. It's still forming on the inside of you first before it can produce. That's what you got to learn. You got something inside of you right now that's literally trying to, that's forming in you, but you're pulling it out too fast. You're pulling it out way too fast. You got cookies in the oven and you know it takes 10 minutes to bake, but you're pulling them out in 5 and you're wondering why they mushy. You're wondering why they still stuck to the pan. You're like, I sprayed the pan. I don't know why it's not done yet. You're frying chicken, but your grease is too hot. So it's cooked on the outside, but on the inside is raw. It's raw on the inside. That's because you're not understanding that you're trying to grow again in a season that you're not destined to grow. Everybody don't grow in spring. Everybody, oh Lord, girl, you better chill. She said, don't pull out prematurely. Facts. Everybody don't grow in the spring. Everybody don't grow in the winter. Everybody don't grow in the fall. Everybody don't grow in the summer. Whatever your season is to grow, stick to it and stop looking at other people because they growing in the season and you not. That's the biggest trick of the enemy. You feel like because they growing in the spring, you're supposed to grow in the spring. No. Nope. That's not how it's designed. You're not a spring baby. You're a fall baby. You're not a fall baby. You're a summer baby. You're not a summer baby. You're a winter baby. You're not a winter baby. You're a spring baby. Whatever season that you're in, that's when God's trying to produce you. So only thing you got to do is just wait. That's it. I'm going to tell you this, guys. Listen and listen to me well. I work out 6 days a week now. My personal trainer put me on a 12-week program. The first 12-week program I did was last year. It changed my life completely. My whole body transformed. I used to post every day on my story. Everybody was like, oh my God, like, dude, you look good. Like, what you doing? Like, you're on steroids and all this other crazy stuff, joking around, like, ha, 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 he, whatever. But I gained 40 pounds in 12 weeks of muscle and mass. Completely changed my whole life. I went literally from 220. When I first started, it was 219, 220 to 261.9 in 12 weeks. It was crazy. But get this, y'all ready? Ready? I've been working out consistently since 2018. Consistently. Started in 2016, fell off for a whole year, started a little bit in 2017, fell off. From 2018 to 2019 to 2020, pandemic hit. I was doing calisthenic workouts, pull-ups, push-ups, jump ropes. I bought dumbbells from Academy when COVID hit. All the gyms were closed. I was outside on the park doing pull-ups. I was doing dips. I was doing all of that stuff. I was running, all of that. I was working out for 3 years. It took a 12-week program for my whole body to change. What I wanted to accomplish in 3 years, I did it in 12 weeks. What does that tell you? It wasn't my season. It wasn't my season. It wasn't. Some of you right now, you're coming on a sweatless season from God. You are. But with the problem why you can't even experience it is because you're looking at everybody else's season and stop your. Some of you might need to fast from social media for a while because you're looking at too many people's situations and it's keeping you from growing mentally. That's what's really happening to you right now. You're looking at everybody business and everybody posting. People only post what they want you to see. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm so glad I remember this. Everybody talking about, Sierra and Russell Wilson. I love them to death, and I love them genuinely, and I don't even know them. I love them because they're a married couple and they seem pretty cool on social media. I'm gonna be real with y'all. We don't know what they go through at home. We don't know. We only know what they post. So what you got going on at home? People don't even know what type of TV you got in your house until you post it. They don't know what kind of car you drive until you post it. They don't know what kind of job or what did you do to make income until you post it. They don't know how much money you got in your bank account. Some of you right now, you're really rich and you ain't even saying nothing because you don't post it. You don't want people in your business. Whatever you post, that's what people are going to perceive. That's it. So again, born to do it again, right? Be born again. The word gen means to be born again. Fruit falls off the tree and regrow every single year. There will be times when you will fall off for a while, and that's okay. You got to give it time for you to grow up to be regrown again. Listen, a lot of you right now, you live in the past way, way, way too much. I used to be this and I used to be fine. I used to be sexy. I used to be able to wear this dress, and now I can't put my leg in the dress. This shirt used to be so big, and now it's too small. I can't fit these shoes no more. And blah, blah, blah. Stop. Stop it. Y'all doing too much. You're doing too much. What if I told you right now the reason why you fell off the tree and you're not good to eat right now? You're really bitter on the inside. Oh, you're not even sweet right now. You're really bitter on the inside. I mean, you juicy. When they cut the orange down, the center squeeze, the juice fall right out. But it's bitter. It's mild. Oh, it's mild. It don't even taste right. It's because the soil wasn't right. The tree looked great. It looks good on the outside and the inside, but your heart wasn't right in that season. There were some parts about you that God had to take out of you. That's the reason why you're not sweet on the inside. That's the reason why you don't have no quality on the inside. And you got just quantity. You're focusing so heavy on the seeds, but you're not rooted in the right soil. That's what it is. The soil is your environment. God's trying to take you from the environment. You thought it was no. It's not you as the fruit. You're just in the wrong environment, bro. That's all it is, my dog. You're just in the wrong environment. Since you're just in the wrong environment, you think because the job pays you whatever, you're in the right environment. Nope. That's the reason why you've been there 2 years and they only gave you 50 cents as a raise or $1. 3 years and $1. That's the only reason why. You put in $10,000 extra a month for work and they only gave you $1 in 2 years. And you do that every single month. That's $100K a year, but they only gave you $2 in 2 years. God's really trying to root you, but because the information can't go in form and then there be action, is because you closed off, because you're comfortable. Some of you right now, you're not getting where you need to be is because you're too comfortable in being in bad soil, bad environments. Bad environments. If you really, really let go and let God, He can really, really take you out of that environment and put you into a better situation. You got to be willing to trust. That's it. That's the game. I pray and hope y'all caught that. I hope y'all caught that. I hope this was an answered prayer or a confirmation to somebody that comes in contact with this video. The whole time it's just your environment is wrong. The environment, the soil is wrong. You're rooted in the wrong soil. That's all it is. You got to get out of that soil. That's the reason why you look so good. You fell off the tree. You was nice and healthy. You sliced the fruit open. It's juicy. Barely no seeds in it. But when you drink, it's like, it's a little, you got to drink water. Like, hold on. This fruit don't even seem right. What's really going on? Why it don't taste right? Because the soil is bad. That's why you can see people in certain environments and they look good, they talk good, but on the back end, they're really shady. They really conniving. They really manipulative. They really use people. They really want to leverage you to get them up to the next level and leave you stuck. They don't want to see you come up. That's the reason why. It's because they're in the wrong soil. It's not them particularly. And here's the thing: we're creatures of habit. When you've been in the wrong soil for so long, you try your best to make that normal, and you want everybody to accept it. And when somebody says something about it, you get offended. Sorry, not sorry. You need to be uprooted out that soil. That's what you need. You really don't know how bad you are until you get uprooted out the soil, and then you start seeing it for what it was. Man, look, I can testify on how bad I was a year ago because I was in the wrong soil. Look, I can go there. I was in the wrong soil. Now that I see it, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I was born to do it again. Next, what you become, because it says here in the next definition, right? What you become, right? What you become is a blueprint for your generation. Gen, the part of gen, right? Gen in generation. What you become is a blueprint for your generation. You have to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this video, if you're catching it right now, it's fine. When this live is over, go back and watch it from the beginning. I'm trying not to stay on 2 hours like the last video, but the stuff is so good. But excuse me, I apologize. What you become is a blueprint of your generation. Summing all of this up. When you're born to do it again, which means is fruits fall off the tree every single year. Petals fall off of flowers every single year. Leaves change colors every single year. They really do. And guess what? Every year they regrow again and they change colors and they go back green. And the tree is bare. There's nothing on it. And then, wow, out of nowhere, rain comes, it grows again. And then have you noticed? Oh, this is about to be so good. When you plant a seed and it grows a little bit, it still has to go through all 4 seasons. And it grows, then it dies. Then it grows bigger, then it dies. Then it grows bigger, then it dies. Then it grows bigger, then it dies some more. Then it grows bigger. That's how you are as a human being. You're looking at everyone else's growth season, but not looking at the seasons when they're dying, when their fruit is falling off the tree. You know why? You don't see it because they don't post it. And now you're trying to compare yourself to quality when God's already made you quantity, when God's already made you quality. You're trying to compare yourself to quality when you run it. Excuse me. You're trying to compare yourself to quantity when God made you quality. That's it. I hope y'all catching this. Like, I'm giving y'all free game and steps that you can use. I pray that you just use them. That's all. That's all I ask. Just use them. Point number 3. How do I have long-lasting fruit? Point number 3. You can't let the enemy uproot you in harsh conditions. Oh my God. Let me stretch a little bit. Woo! This one hit me hard because I had to write it down and tell y'all. You can't let the enemy uproot you in harsh conditions. In harsh conditions. Some of you right now, you are legit falling off the tree. And you're in your regrowing season. The leaves growing. You know what I'm saying? You in the bud now. You in bud form. Now, you ever put a rose in water and you see that bad boy open up? Right? Rose is getting there. It ain't open up all the way. It didn't bloom all the way. It's there. But you still hit a harsh condition. It flooded in your area. And the sucky part about it is it makes it look like it's sucked, but it really didn't. You got flooded in that area because God was trying to uproot you out of a condition that was harsh. I'm sorry, not trying to root you. God was trying to show you that the condition was harsh, but you wanted to stay there because you've been there so long. I invested so much time. I don't know if I should leave right now. I'm comfortable. And you wonder why the enemy been trying to uproot you. But God flooded out your area. You're in a flood zone that nobody told you. And for some reason, it's always flooded in this area. I don't understand why. You still in the soil, but you leaned over because you took a beating. You hanging on for dear life. You hurting right now. You're in pain because you took a beating right now. Oh, I hope y'all getting this. I give you meat. I don't give you milk. Just letting you know right now. Listen, I'm going to say it again. You that rose. You grew up, it's nice. 90% rain came out of nowhere. If you anywhere in the South, every state in the South has bipolar weather, from Texas to Florida. Bipolar. It's going to be hot, then it'll rain 90%, thunder, lightning. I mean, wailing, wind blowing, hurricane gust type winds. And then later on, 2 hours later, it's nice, it's blue, and then it's 100 degrees with humidity. And that water on that ground just dry right up. The water that was on your car that from rain, it dried up. It's so hot to where it don't even look like it rained, and it poured down. Lights flickered and all of that. Ain't that crazy? Your whole part of town flooded. It flooded out. And here's what happens. God was showing you the environment that you're in. You keep playing. I'm flooding out the front yard and the backyard. Eventually, I'm going to get in that foundation. And the part that you didn't want to get flooded, you're going to start seeing some damage. Oh, yeah. That foundation, that house going to start settling. And now the house going to lean a little bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then when it leans, it's going to lean a little bit too much. And now you got an infestation of ants and bugs. Because God was trying to literally show you that you're in the flood zone. It's time for you to get out. But because you're so comfortable and you don't have the faith and you don't believe, you don't think it's possible for you to do anything much than what you always have ever done. I heard this quote years ago. If you do what you always have done, you will get what you have gotten. I think that was Henry Ford that made that quote. Or Zig Ziglar, one of the two. If you do what you always have done, you will get what you always have gotten. That's facts. Whether you believe you can do it or you can't do it, either way it go, you right and God's not wrong. You right because we got free will. I can't do this. Yep, you right. You can't. Whatever. I can do it. You absolutely can do it. The difference between him and them is him said he could. Them said they can't. That's the difference. Whether you think you can do something or you can't do something, either way it go, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. That's why what you do, you are literally a part of a blueprint for your generation. You can't let the enemy uproot you in harsh conditions. You thinking it's God. You thinking it's the enemy. It's really God. If you keep staying there, when God flood that zone out, the enemy gonna uproot you eventually. Because all the flood doing, all the flood doing is just making the soil softer for you to pull out. See, when it's hot outside and it's firm, you can't pull that flower out. It's hard. It's hard for the enemy to pull you because you got a solid foundation. You could be shooken up, but you can't be pulled. You can't be you sturdy with it, like you solid in your foundation. But when it floods, because God's trying to move you, you're not listening. That voice in your head that's telling you, you need to know. I don't know. I want to use my discernment. I don't know. Oh, your discernment or God's discernment? Okay, stay a little bit longer. Rain come. Shh. Now it was hard. Now it's soft a little bit. You want to say it's soft? Step right in that ground. You sink right in there. Oh man, I stepped in some mud. Ooh. It's muddy now. That means when it's muddy, it's easy to pull out. Easy. Come on now. Point A, right? Because the next definition, cultivate. Gentle means to cultivate. Ooh, it means to cultivate. In other words, grow and maintain. Grow and maintain. What season are you in? What season are you in is not determined on your level of gentleness. Whatever season you are in is not determined on your level of gentleness. When you grow, you have to go through the pain of growing. Growing pain is crazy. Remember what kids do when they're teething? There's a little teeth growing out them gums. They chewing on hairbrushes. They chewing on combs. They don't care. Them babies' gums is itching and it's hurting at the same time. They crying, but they nibbling on everything that they can nibble on because it hurts. Some of you right now who have your wisdom teeth in, like your boy, y'all know. Ooh, when the wisdom teeth try to come out through them gums, Jesus. Woo, well, we fight. Don't talk to me. My mouth hurt. Leave me alone. Go get a drill down. Says who? I'm good. I'll take some Tylenol. I'll take some Benadryl. I'll go to bed. I'm good. Right? Whatever season you are in, it is not determined on your level of gentleness. Remember that. Your level of gentleness is designed for you to understand the growth that God is taking you through. And with growth comes pain. You want muscles? Go through pain. You want to lose weight? Go through pain. The pain produces the purpose. You can't have purpose without pain. You can't have pain without purpose. And when you have pain and purpose together, it equals growth. And when you have growth, gentleness comes. Why? Because you get humbled by the pain. You get humbled when you're in your purpose. And you grow consistently. Cultivate means to grow. There are going to be times when you're going to grow. Just because you fell off the tree don't mean you're not growing. That's just a part of you that was just a little bitter. It looks like right now, because it looked good on the outside and the inside, and you was cut, and a part of your fruit got cut, but it still tasted bitter. That's nothing wrong with it. You just was in the wrong soil. God was like, you know what? It's not you. It's just that the people that were supposed to eat your fruit, they wouldn't have appreciated it. So I had to make it. Oh, I feel. Oh, I'm speaking. I feel like I'm speaking prophetically right now. I had to make your fruit sour for them because they wouldn't appreciate it. So don't take it personal that they're not eating your fruit right now. It's that I couldn't make it sweet for them because if I did, they would have taken advantage of your fruit. They would have noticed the quality of fruit that you really was producing. They would have tried to make it seem like, oh, just give me more quantity. You're not a quantity type of person. You're a quality type of person. That's the type of fruit you are. Understand, understand the quality of being kind. Excuse me. That's what the definition of gentle is. That's the reason why a lot of people who have tasted your fruit, some of them have stayed, but a lot of them left. And the reason why they stayed was because if the fruit was good, they would have always stayed. But the reason why they stayed and then they left is because it was bitter to them. But that's the only fruit they ever tasted because they don't have any fruit. So they caught your fruit. Your fruit tastes better than theirs, but it was still bitter. But you know what? They settled. So they stayed and they waited, excuse me. They waited for you to produce more fruit. They waited for you to produce more fruit. And when they finally figured out, man, this fruit ain't hitting, this fruit ain't really sweet. What's wrong with her? I don't understand why was she doing it? It just ain't working for her. First of all, it's hers, it's his, not yours, sir or ma'am. But that's how people do. They want to see what you can do to see if it worked for you. And then when it don't work for you in their eyes, in your eyes, like this is the process. We got to be patient. We got to see it. We got to see it through. Nah, I don't know about all that. See, I want right now. I want guarantees. I need to know. Well, that's the reason why you don't have no fruit. Because you want guarantees so much. That's the reason why you have no fruit at all. None. No fruit whatsoever. That's what growing means. Next part, maintain, maintenance. Are you recharging and watering your seeds? What are you doing to recharge yourself right now? What are you doing to recharge yourself? Are you trying to smoke? Are you trying to drink? Are you trying to pop pills? Are you sexing it away? What are you doing to really, really, really maintain the gentleness and the growth and the cultivation that needs to and is required for your seed and your fruit to grow continuously through every single season. Because think about it. Your fruit only grows, right, in the spring, and it's good in the summer. When the fall and winter hit, fall comes what? September-ish? September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 months. Oh, that's so prophetic. 7 months of nothing. 7 months of nothing. Can you stay down for 7 months to regrow all over again? Can you do it? Do you understand the capacity that you have to stay down for 7 months to grow and do it all over again? Can you do it? Can you stay down for the come up? I.e., can you be obedient for 7 months, 7 days, 7 weeks, whatever that means to you? Long enough, 7 hours, 7 minutes, 7 seconds. Can you do it long enough? Whatever God tells you, can you do it long enough for your fruit to have an opportunity to grow again in whatever season it was? Your fruit is supposed to grow in August. What if it's August 2025? But right now it's 2022. Can you wait for August 2025? Can you wait? I know what God showed you, but can you wait for August 2025? Can you wait? You want the consistency of what you pray for to come every single day, but God may give it to you every now and then. That doesn't mean it's not going to be consistent. Every time He give it to you, please do me a favor. Maximize on it every time your fruit is produced. Every time you produce a fruit off of your tree, maximize it. Do whatever you got to do to make sure that the enemy don't uproot you from your soil. Cultivate it daily, read daily, study daily, fast, pray, and pray. Pray for God to give you strength to fulfill what you need to fulfill for Him, not for you. And one thing I've learned about prayer, after you pray, don't just get up and leave after you say amen. Sit and wait and listen. Listen for what God is going to tell you. Because now you've done all of the talking. Now it's time for God to talk. You've done all the talking. Now it's time for God to talk. Here's some free game I'm going to give you. Make sure you write this down. When you're working, God is resting. But when you're resting, God is working. Make sure you write that down. When you're working, God is resting. But when you are resting, God is working. He's working when you're resting. A lot of you, God can't work because you're working way too much. A lot of you, God can't really fulfill the faith that needs to be produced on the prayers that you put out because you don't believe so much. You work your way out of your own faith. Ooh, that's for somebody. Some of you just need to rest and go to bed. Some of you just need to take a nice, healthy nap and let God do His thug thing. For real. Let God do what He needs to do in your life. I promise you, it took 2022 for me to finally realize what the heck God meant when He said He rested on the Sabbath. I was like, man, look, man, team no sleep here, baby. We only sleeping 10 hours a week. We grinding. That was so stupid. I didn't even realize it. What rest is now, I appreciate rest so much. Oh my goodness. I appreciate rest more than I've ever appreciated in my life. Some of you just need to rest. When you rest in God, trust me, the enemy can't touch you because why? God working. A lot of you right now, you can have what you want, but you're not resting enough. Work on it and rest. Let God do what He want to do. I figured this out recently, literally the other day. If I rest more, I won't have any issues. I'm like, yo, I just need to chill and let God do. Like I said, I was gonna go live at 7:30. God told me rest. I'm like, Lord, I'm gonna be late. He was like, put your head down. I put my head down on his desk, and I passed out. I fell asleep at my desk, and I woke up, and everything I'm teaching y'all, I wrote down less than 5 minutes. It came so fast. I was like, oh, let me start get the right. He said rest. I said, oh, that makes sense. I need to rest. But prior, I was writing. I was falling asleep. I was about to go. I was dozing off like crazy. I was like, why am I dozing off? This is the enemy. God was like, no, it's me. Rest. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna rest. I got you. Rest. Cool. So maintain, guys, maintain. Next point, cultivating Oh, get this. Cultivating is a daily activity. Cultivating is a daily activity and action for your fruit to be produced all year round. Come on now. Listen to me. What if I told you, drum roll, please, you are an all around piece of fruit? Yeah. You are a year around, you're an annually fruit. You come in you survive all 4 seasons. But here's the caveat. Just because you survive in all 4 seasons, because that's the only way it has to happen. Just because there's no fruit formed or falling off your tree, don't mean that you're not alive. That's the enemy wants you to think that. Oh man, oh, you ain't got no fruit on your tree. What do? That's the enemy. He will make you think that because other people are doing good off of what they're posting on social media, it'll make you feel like your tree ain't doing nothing. Your tree ain't even producing. Yes, it is. It's just that the fruit you have is not meant to be eaten in that season. That's the difference. I hope y'all catch it. I hope y'all get this, guy. I hope y'all get it. Cultivating, which means to grow and maintain. You have to grow, and then and once it grows, you gotta keep maintenance on it. Clean your shoes after you wear them. Don't just wipe them down. Take your clothes to the cleaners. Maintain. Get groomed. Manis, petties, waxes. Ladies, do all of that. Maintain who you are. Get your hair done. Get your eyebrows waxed, whatever you got to do. Fellas, get lined up. Get some clippers. I'm going to line my beard up when I go on this live. I'm going to get a cut next week or week after next. Like, make sure that you maintain because you are the fruit. Maintain whom you are. Do that regularly. And a lot of times it's not even really about the physical. It's about the spiritual. Some of us just need to maintain our spirit man, our spirit woman. You need to maintain that individual. You need to feed him, feed her on a regular. Your outer appearance get everything, but your inner appearance starving, is thirsty. There's dehydration in your spirit right now. There's no word in your spirit. Just read one chapter a day. That's it. Start off in Genesis and work your way down. Start off in Genesis and work your way all the way down. Some of you right now, you literally have no nourishment in your spirit man, because you're not feeding them. They're starving for the word. And you wonder why I'm just not feeling it right now, because you're not feeding her, sis. You're not feeding her. You writing affirmations and all of that's cool. You reading your affirmations and you want to manifest, but there's no word of God in you. None. That's why it's a drought. That's why your fruit is not even really forming all the way. It's growing and then it's withering at the tree. Jesus in the book, I think it's Matthew 23. I can't remember which chapter it is. I'm letting you know I'm in the book of Matthew. Jesus was hungry and went to a fig tree, and the fig tree didn't have nothing. And Jesus spoke to that tree and said, because you have no fruit, you shall wither. That tree withered right there on the spot. And the disciples was like, oh my God, who is this dude? Are you ready? Come on, look, listen. I'm trying to get y'all ready so that when Christ comes back and he sees your tree, you got fruit on it. You won't be caught with your pants down. You won't be caught slipping. You won't be caught lacking. I want y'all all to be prepared that when that day comes, and it don't necessarily have to be, it doesn't necessarily have to be rapture or anything. It could be when the opportunity hit. Are you ready? It could be a DM, it could be a phone call, it could be an email. Are you ready when it happens? When it comes and your tree got fruit on it, I want you to be prepared and ready, man. I don't want you guys to be watching my videos, supporting and sharing, which I really do appreciate. Make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube as well. But I want you to be ready, because if you're all year around fruit and you produce all year round, you need to be ready when that time comes. You need to be ready. Be 100% ready. Last point, number 4, reproduce. Reproduce. Gen means to reproduce. Gentle means to reproduce, guys. And guess what? It means to reproduce between a man and a woman. The two became one. The process, the first point, the process of production has to be in order. It has to be in order. Reproduce, the word re means again. Word re means again. Are you ready for God to take you through the process again, even when it doesn't make sense? Reproduce. Are you ready for God to take you through that process all over again? Yeah, I'm doing good. Woo, yep, I've got my money saved. Emergency hit. You got to use it all. You ever got some money and you thought everything was good, then your car started tripping. You're like, God dang it. Why my car? What? Something happens and the bill hits you unexpectedly. What is this? Oh, I forgot that was coming out today. Am I the only one that has ever happened to? Right? You need to be ready for that. But are you ready for God to take you through that process again, even when it doesn't make sense? Last point, I'm out close. Gentleness is chestnut checkers. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper on this another day when it talks about reproduces is for a man and a woman. The word gentleman is derived from gentle. The word gentleman was described, excuse me, it was meant to describe a certain type of man, a chivalrous man, a man that's kind, a man that's mild mannered and mild tempered, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? That's what the word gentleman was described to do. Okay, it was described to do those things. A lot of us right now aren't gentlemen is because we don't understand the fruit that we have. We don't understand whom we are. And I'm talking to fellas right now. Fellas, if you're watching this video, please hear me now. If you're a lady and watching this video, share this with your husband, share this with your brother. You can fast forward all the way to the end. Gentlemen, men, I'm talking to you. Women need you to be gentle. In other words, not too much a sensitivity thing, which is good, right? Express and get your emotions in line. Here's what I need you also to do, women. I need you to hold us as men accountable. Stop praying and asking for a man that's of high value because he got to make a certain amount of money. You're killing the men right now because when you do that, I'm gonna give you some statistics. 40% of men make $35,000 a year or less, or less, less. $35,000 a year or less, and that's before taxes. That's before taxes. So when you say you want a man, and I'm speaking for me as a black man, I can't speak for any other race. I'm saying for a black man, if you want a black man that makes six figures or above, or even any other race, only 40% of us make $35,000 a year and less, and that's before taxes. Here is the caveat to it. 30% of that 40% are African American men, black men. The other 10% are any other race, Hispanic, Asian, etc. So you're asking for a man to make that amount of money is really, really low. So you may have to date outside your race. If you choose to do that, that's fine. But the amount of men that make six figures and above, it's like 1%. It's very, very, very low. It's very low. Here's what I want you all to understand. Don't place a value on a man and you want him to be a gentleman based on money and finances. Because now you're telling him the only way he needs to provide for you is based on his money and not based on his emotions. I've never seen a woman in my day and age so far, and this I've never seen it posted on podcasts. I've never seen a woman hold a men accountable and say, I want a man that has a relationship with God. I've never seen those. I never seen no posts. If you're a woman watching this, I need you to try that. Where are the men that are submitted to God? If he's not submitted to God, you can't submit to him. You can't. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for you to submit to him if he's not hearing from God, he's hearing from everybody else. And when he's hearing from everybody else and you hearing from God, that's gonna be a conflict every single time. Y'all gonna butt heads like crazy. Y'all will. Because if he's not hearing from God, when you want him to be present, when you want his presence instead of his present means his money, his gifts, his cars, his jewelry, all of that he want to physically and materially give to you. When you really need him to be there emotionally, he can't because you said you wanted a man of money and you didn't want a man that was really based on his submission to God, because there's no accountability of that. There's none. There's no accountability of that. That's how gentlemen get produced, because they are submitted to God. That's how that happens. I've never seen a woman say, I want a man right now that has not too much money, because obviously he's responsible. But I've never seen a woman post, I want a man that has his mental health together. Y'all not asking the right questions. Y'all asking all of the wrong questions. Y'all asking all of the wrong questions. I never seen a woman say, I want a man that's saved. Y'all not asking for the right stuff. Whatever you ask is what you're going to get. Ask and you shall receive. That's what the Bible says. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be answered. Y'all asking for the wrong stuff. You're asking for men to fund your life, and instead of asking for God to give you the husband that you really need. That's the issue. That's why there are no gentlemen, really. That's why chivalry is dead. That's why the pool of men that still open doors and do all this is like, it's like that small. It's not because they don't want to, it's because the requirement that women are placing for men is like really, really low. But the material outside perspective, in other words, the outside of the fruit look good. It needs to be up here, but the inside is down here, is rotten. That's the reason why in the beginning y'all good, and then 2 months later y'all don't last, because there's no accountability. Ladies, you're asking the wrong questions. You want a man that you can submit to. First, you got to be submitted to God, and you got to ask for God to send you a man that's submitted. And when he's submitted, you don't have to worry about all extra stuff, because if you submit it to God, you won't have to worry about checking him. He's gonna be good, and vice versa. He will. He will. Lord, I wasn't even gonna go here with this, but God's leading me, so I'm gonna just keep going. So make sure that you all get this and understand it. I see this so much, and I really don't even want to even address it. I will in another series that's coming up, but I will say this is that there has to be some accountability for women, because, ladies, the Bible says this: the enemy is there to trap you as women. The Bible says this: the enemy is there to trap the woman. He's there to kill us as men. He's here to kill us. That's why women, y'all live longer than us. Y'all have a 10 to 15 year life expectancy to live longer than us. Y'all do, by default. Y'all designed to live longer than us. And I ain't talking about from a spiritual standpoint, that's from a scientific standpoint. That's based on numbers and statistics. You can look this up. We die quicker than y'all do. We do. Y'all have to really understand, if you really, really need the husband and the man that you really need in your life, you gotta start asking God the right questions so that you can be equally yoked. You got to start asking God the right questions. The right questions, because if you don't, and you listen to all of these podcasts and what people say, you got people giving advice that has never been married, that don't want to be married, that have no desire. They don't even have a relationship with God. They don't even have a relationship with Christ. They have nothing. And you're taking advice from people and they're not even submitted to God. That's the biggest issue I see. Because all of the questions they're asking all of the wrong questions. You want a man that's financially stable, but what if he cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in his brain? Men, you want a girl that's fine and a girl that have her own, but what if she like bat crazy? What if she purposely out there trying to trap men because she got a disease that she can't get rid of, and she want to just give it to a whole bunch of men? See, people don't want to talk about that, but it really happens. It really happens. We're asking the wrong questions. Send me a wife that has her mental in line, that's not petty, that want to submit, that wants to love, that wants to share, that really can pray for me when I'm not praying for myself. A woman that will stand in the trenches for me when I am not in the trenches, because I'm in the trenches daily. When I walk out this door, I carry, not because I want to, because I have to. I'm in the trenches daily. And I don't bother anybody, but the enemy don't care. He's designed to kill all of the men. He don't care about the women. He want to trap y'all. He want to take us out. Think about it. What more bigger plan than to separate the man from the woman by killing the man? So now, ladies, you stuck by yourself and you can't do nothing. Now you got two sons, they father gone. Now you got to try to play both roles. How much stress is that on a single mother to have two sons? And to get this, the enemy want to take your sons out too. They do. He do. He don't care. The Bible says he's there to seek and destroy. He's here to steal, kill, and destroy. That's it. That's exactly what he is here to do. He's here to steal, kill, and destroy. He don't care about all of this petty stuff. Listen, it is designed that way. I saw a post earlier, and I'm gonna end on this. A guy said this. He said, "It kills me to see. It hurts my heart to see us as African American Black men and women battle against each other. The battle of the sexes, the separation. Y'all seen us. We were together when we were slaves, taking it way back. Y'all seen us being literally stripped away from y'all. Y'all seen us have to fight. If you don't beat him up, I'm going to kill you and sell your wife and your kids. Y'all seen that stuff. Our ancestors, our great grandparents from back in the day, they seen all of that. Women were there to fight for their husbands because they were scared that a slave owner was going to take them and separate from the family and completely sell them to a whole nother plantation. It's like, don't you understand that a lot of us, and I don't know the fullness of your, of your bloodline, because obviously I know a lot of you have different ancestries and all that stuff, but a lot of our families right now were probably split up. What if your last name wasn't even really the last name that you had? It was supposed to be attached to somebody else, but you don't even know who that person is. And because of that, the guy said this, he said, and it hurts me to see us battling each other right now. It hurts us to see that. And Danica, I apologize for that, for that situation. And I'm glad you said that, because I want to speak on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're hurting each other by fighting against each other, by trying to prove who make more money than one another. Let me tell you something, man. When you die, that cash ain't gonna be nothing. Your kids want you, they don't want your money. Fellas and ladies, they don't want your Birkins, they don't want your red bottles. They want mom to be there when mom need to be there. That's what they need, that's what they want. They don't need all of this extra stuff that social media talking about. We got to stop this whole thing of trying to separate men and women, especially Black men and women, away from one another. We grew up in a time frame. We grew up in a time frame where we were together as a family, and then we were literally sold, man, and we were separated from slavery from one another. We were separated, and the wives were battling to say, "Give me my husband back." And it was like, if you touch me, I'm killing you and your husband and your kids. The wives seen their husbands get sold to a different plantation. They seen it. And now we go from fighting to stay together to now we're fighting to stay away from each other. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense at all. That's the most dumbest thing I have ever seen in my life. Listen, I understand things, and that's the reason why women said, well, we need to work now, because the men were forced. Remember when drafts came back in the day, military, the men were forced to be drafted into the military. So the wives had to stay home with the kids. The women didn't want their husbands and their men to leave the house. They wanted their men to stay, because back then, men were the only ones that could work, and women had to stay home to take care of the household. That's why it's more common for women, do industrial things. They cook, they clean, et cetera, because that was all that they can do back then. Now that times have changed, men were drafted into the military, not even by choice. It was mandatory. You either gonna get drafted or we're gonna throw you behind bars. It's like, Uncle Sam want you. Remember those posts, right? So now when men come back, they are broken, they bruised up, they got PTSD from the war. Some of them didn't even make it back home. They didn't even make it back home to their families. So now that women say, you know what, we can work now. somewhere in the line between the sister and the women, they want to do it, but they say, I got to do what I got to do because my kids need to eat. But could you imagine the damage of the children that said, my father was here one moment and now they're gone. And the mother has to sit there to make up a story to try to mentally put her children in line because the husband's not there anymore because he was sent off to another country, not by his choice. He was pulling from his family and slavery, out of slavery, not by his choice. And our families are separated. Then when the men came back, society placed it to where men couldn't get jobs because they didn't have the mental or technical skills, because women were forced to learn more with their minds, while we were forced to work with our hands and go to war. That was the issue. So now, here's what happens. Now, men can't do what women do, not because they don't want to, because they weren't forced to walk in that way. So instead of coming together, some families did, not all, instead of coming together, it's like, well, I don't need you. Because now the man loses his whole identity because his whole life he was able to provide. Now he comes back with PTSD. He's injured from the war, et cetera, and he can't provide like how he used to provide. Now he feels less than because nobody wanted to communicate. Nobody understood gentleness. Nobody understood that. And what it did was it put both of us against one another. Well, I don't need you. I could do bad all by myself. Did you say that before you was able to work? Did you say that beforehand? So now that becomes the issue. Now it's the battle of the sexes. And now, the only people getting hurt is the children. Because they're not seeing two people become one. They're not seeing gentle. The definition means when a man and woman come together and reproduce. It's right here. Right here. And for some reason, we battling one another. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why at all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've learned thus far. And I'm actually going to do a series. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. It's 2 hours. I don't want to stay on here too long. I apologize. But ladies, please pray for your men to have their emotional mindsets in check daily. It's the battlefield of the mind. Joyce Meyer wrote a book like that. It's the battlefield of the mind. The enemy wants to kill us and take us out. You don't understand. As I teach to have this type of calling on my life, it is a battle of the mind daily for the enemy to try to attack me. I'm telling you, it's not that I want it. It's just what he does because he don't want me to teach. He don't want me to teach. We go through a lot as men on a day-to-day basis. Think about it like this. You got to worry about police trying to take you out. You got to worry about the enemy trying to take you out. And you got to worry about people that you don't even know that's hating on you because in their eyes, you look like you're doing better than them and they don't like that. So you got 3 or 4 guns pointing at you on a day-to-day basis and you don't even know it. You know how many people get taken out from straight bullets or because they thought that person looked like somebody else, or as the police say, you fit the description of somebody else? A simple traffic stop turned into somebody being in the casket. Simple. We need y'all ladies to pray for us on a daily. We need it. It's a requirement. It's a requirement. We lead in drug abuse. We lead in homelessness. We lead in suicide. We lead in PTSD, depression, illnesses, sicknesses. We lead in death over women. We do. We lead in these categories. Not because we want to, because the enemy hates us. Because we carry the seed. We carry the seed. Y'all the soil, ladies. When seed go in the soil, reproduction comes. Fruit, kids, fruit, future, fruit, businesses, fruit, money, fruit, wealth, fruit, prosperity. The enemy don't want that. Why do you think he intervened in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve? He doesn't want it. The trick don't stop. It doesn't. He's still doing the same stuff from back in the day, as we like to say. The game don't change. Remember my last video? People on the bench finally getting time to play and they want to change the rules. That's it. That's all it is. Pray for us, ladies. We need it as men. We lead in all of these different categories that I don't think y'all even realize, because social media has created this agenda that we need to be against one another. We don't. We're stronger together than we are separate. We really are. We're stronger together. That's why the Bible says the two become one. Two become one. So that's my time. I appreciate y'all. I will be doing a series on that a whole lot later. Lord, thank you. I didn't even go that deep into it. It's past 2 hours on this live, and I was supposed to have like an hour and a half, and I went way over my time. But thank you all who jumped on. I started at 8. It's 10:07. Share this video, this teaching. If you did not watch the video, it's on my YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube. I put the video up. I put a clip up yesterday. I posted it. Put the link. You can go on my YouTube channel. Starting off, we're growing little by little, which is all good. We just here to save souls. Listen, if you do not know who Jesus is, you do not know who Christ is, you want to make him your Lord and Savior, now it is the time. If you want to be anything in your life, you got to submit first. A lot of you want the lives that you really want, but you got to really ask yourself, am I really, really submitted to Christ? Am I really, really submitted to God how I want to be? That's probably all you're missing. You need to submit to God on a regular basis. Now, once you submit, it will be challenging because the old you is going to try to fight the new you daily. That's okay. That's why you learn how to pray, to learn how to fast. Don't be scared of not knowing what to do next. Because if it was a job, if it was a business adventure, or it was an opportunity, you would research and do whatever you got to do to get to the next level, right? Keep that same energy when you get saved. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's the exact same process. That's just as simple as I want to make it to everybody, right? But other than that, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all. It's 10 o'clock right now. I'm super hungry. But I thank you so much for tuning in, all of you that make comments and support. I'm praying for each and every one of you individually, for your loved ones and for your families. Please, 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 ladies, pray for us. And fellas, pray for these ladies. Please do pray for them. They going through it now because now ladies are forced to be men now, which is so crazy to me. It's so crazy. And it's confusing these kids. They're forcing ladies to take on the masculinity of a man, and it's hard because y'all not built like that. So it's so crazy to see this type of stuff. It's so crazy. But again, I'm gonna do a whole series on that. I've already wrote it down. God didn't tell me when to release it, but when I do release it, it's probably gonna go viral. But I'm here to help you and teach you this word so that you can get this. Gentleness is the key. Make sure you understand this. Next week on Wednesday, we're going, it's going to be the final finale of this series, the finale. We're going to be talking about self-control. Self-control. Says, I just want to be soft. I feel you, but they don't want you to be soft. So they want you to be eased up. They want you benching 300 as a woman. They want you squatting 500, deadlifting 650. They want you out here looking like a dude. They don't want you to be soft and gentleness. They want you to be hard and masculine and the alpha female. And I run it for what? Because then one day, your son and your daughter are going to say, where daddy at? They're going to ask those questions. And what are you going to say? I'm strong. We don't need him. Look at the cars on the driveway. Look at the house we have. The fellas know. Your child going to say, where my mama at? Where's mommy? You got a daughter, and and that time of the month hits her for the first time, you can't relate because you're not a woman. She needs her mother. She does. She needs that. She needs that femininity. She needs that feminine energy. She needs that. She needs that example. You can't raise her to be a tomboy. I mean, you can, but eventually she's gonna have questions when she get older. Like, what do I do with this situation? I got a boy that like me, and I don't know if I like him. Because I love you, Daddy. You're the only boy I've known all my life. I don't know how to let another guy in. I don't know how to do that. Now you got to teach her how to manage her emotions as a woman. You're not even a woman. That's challenging. But the social media and the internet, they want us to be separate so much. We got to change the narrative. Let's change the narrative for these kids so that we can create the generational wealth and prosperity that we need to make. Because when you create the generational wealth, you got gentleness easily done. Simple. So share this video, get out there. It's your boy Future P. I see you next week on Wednesday between 7:30 and 8:30, whatever, Central Standard Time. I'll be going live here on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you all for joining in, tuning in. Peace out. Love you all to the life of me, to the death of me. I see you then. Pray for your boy. See you all next Wednesday. Peace. YouTube, I'm out. Love you. See you all. Blowing kisses to all the ladies and the gentlemen too as well. My brothers, I love you all. Man, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're going to be man, it's going to be grateful, man. I'm so grateful for you all, for all the viewers out there, the subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. We're going up more and more, baby. Peace.